Congratulations on the win, LeBron!
NBA legends think the bubble was weak. However, off-course LeBron sees as the best thing known to man.
Some people say it's like the purest form of basketball being in the bubble, like this experiment in a way. And then others like, oh, it's not real. At the end of the day, like you're human beings competing. It doesn't matter if you're competing on the moon or in the bubble.
I agree with a lot of people say when it's the purest form of hoops, like it was strictly basketball. Like it is no, we're all like, have the ability to do whatever we want in life. We've made a bunch of money. We have all the access, that's gone in the bubble. You can't just, I'm about to go to a restaurant or I'm about to do this or I have this. You can't do none of that. Like everything in the bubble was strictly about basketball. And obviously we was there, talking about a lot of the off the court things that was going on, the social injustice and the police brutality and stuff, all that, rightfully so. But when the basketball portion was the focus, that's all it was. Like of all my championships I've won, that level of focus, like how long can you maintain your focus in order to get the job done? Because you have all the reasons if you want to get out of focus because you're so accustomed to a certain lifestyle that you like the hell with this. Like I don't want to do this. Like why am I here? Like I don't want to be a part of this. Like this is not what. I can't get a certain meal. I can't do this. I can't see my family. I can't lock in on and you can very easily get out of why you're there.
But the bubble was so bad that Melo compares it to a
why you're there.
Bubble joint. I was just out there. I get no stats with the Lakers. Then they got you on lockdown so you can't even converse with other cats and other joints. So he was at a whole nother I call it plantation. He was at another plantation.
It wasn't prison, but the concept and the idea of having these different facilities and these different inmates in these facilities, you get a couple hours on the yard and go back in. Yeah. At first, you can't go nowhere. They bring you bag lunches. You got
such a wild time,
especially at the time frame with what was happening in society and our country and killings and murders and police brutality, all of that. And then you telling us to go in there to be a part and be locked down and don't worry about what's going on in the rest of the world. Somebody might say, Melo, you wrong. That's the only way that I can process this.
Taking my DNA every day.
Yeah, champ. Like it was.
That's crazy.
And people would be like, "Oh man, that's spoil you. That's this and that." It ain't spoil you. We get paid millions of dollars to go out there and entertain y'all. We got to be right. We the athletes. We got a body right, mind got to be right. Everything got to be right.
You can't treat me like a lab rat and then expect me to go out there and be a well-oiled machine. I've been playing in basketball my whole life in games where people was in the crowd. Nobody's in the crowd. You got 12 people out there who's allowed to come inside the bubble who's just sitting there on the side and you hear the fake noise and all that. It was weird, bro.
Guys used to having routines. It's a lot different. You used to playing at 7 o'clock, 7:30. You playing at 12. You may play at 10. You don't know what time, 2:30. It's just a game after game after game after game after game.
That's what was dope to me, though.
I love playing in those environments. That's like rec league. That's like playing in the gym outside. I love the bubble from a basketball standpoint. But all the other it was hard to fathom. You start questioning relationships, friendships. What you mean? Yo, don't want to come over and say what's up?
It was like high school type?
I start pulling up. Yo, what's up, y'all? I'm over here. Yo, come on, Chevy. You know you just can't go over there.
It's the wrong zone.
Man, I'm over there. I'm coming over there. They looking at me like, yo, Melo, what you doing over here? Because only the record teams, whoever the first 6 teams of each conference is over here, and then the bottom 8, and then the next 8. We on the play-in. You walking on campus, is look like, oh, man, that's the play-in over there. That's why we went so hard, Chad. We don't want to be here anyway, but if we gonna be here, Chad, we might as well go try to be 8-0. We know 6-2 at the 5-3 at the least.
Right.
But we lose the first 2-3 games, I'm out of here. I'm letting y'all know that right now.
The bubble was so bad that players had mental health issues.
I mean, we all dealing with it. Whether I was the first to say it or not, we all dealing with it. I had conversations with guys here. And there's been a couple guys that, it's like, man, I'm happy I'm not the only one. I've been dealing with this too. Like, it's a thing in here.
Bubble got the best of me. I was just in a dark place. I really wasn't here. I checked out. So these past couple games, it was just difficult. I was just in a bad place.
In fame, and your kids. Did that allow you to become more vulnerable, where you're able to share those things that you've gone through in hopes that it can help other people?
Nah, I didn't think about it from that point of view. I think it was just me being honest with myself. And it was the first time I felt this way, you know what I mean? And it was like, man, I don't know who to talk to, who to turn to. I was holding on to it because I'm like, man, if I talk about this shit now, it's an excuse. Like, people gonna look at this like, man, he trying to opt out, he copping out on us.
Right.
But to be honest, it was just like, man, I don't know what to do here. You know what I mean? We got games, we seen the opponents after we playing, we might get into them during the game, hit the elevator, boom, there he is. Y'all go ahead and go, man. I'm gonna get the next one. And then so and then before all of that, they sold us a dream. We'll have this, that, you know, we'll be able to tour the park. So we like, cool, at least we ain't tied to just being in one space.
Right.
Then we get there, we tied to one space. And so that was just, I didn't know what to do. I didn't fish as much as I could have fished there. I didn't play golf as much as I could play golf there. Now what? Like, now what could I do? And so it was more so just me just putting my hands up and saying, man, I'm like, help. Somebody help
Not
me.
sure how this could be the purest form of basketball when players were being forced to play.
To begin with, it was a struggle to get us to the bubble to begin with. We didn't even want to go, you know. So I think just mentally we came into it without just the right mindset to finish the job. We didn't even want to be there. And I think once we got there and we was in it, you know, I think I was in the bubble 97 days was how long I was there. And I think about day 67, I was like, let's get the fuck out of here. Like, you know, so I think mentally we wasn't in it for the long game. We didn't really see, you know, the pot of gold at the end of it. We were starting to hear the rumblings like, oh, nobody's going to respect this chip and all of that. And so I think we kind of just took our foot off the gas.
Players know how whack this was.
I got to say, I know Lou's talked a little bit about it. Do you feel like you guys win a championship if you weren't in the bubble that season?
For sure. Hands down. Hands down, we was the best team. We was the most connected team, top to bottom. Starters to the guys coming off. We was just like, it was perfect, man. I think that the bubble I think guys just got tired of being there, man. Tired of being not around their family, just being in a comfortable space, and you know, it just affected us right when we had our shot.
Place like this, no family, no fans. It was tough.
Well, I think it's a big factor. I just don't know how it's going to materialize, but absolutely, it's going to play a factor.
Lakers need to do anything to sell LeBron, do you think, on LA?
No, no. Look, he went there. They had a treasure trove of young players and assets. They put them all on the table to get Anthony Davis, and they won a championship. Like his tenure.
Bubble championship.
Okay.
Or
okay. If you want to do this exercise, we can go year by year, and I can put an asterisk next to a lot of championships.
I just said bubble championship.
Am I lying? Am I lying? Am I lying?
One thing about you don't lie.
No, you could put an asterisk to a lot of championships.
Some.
Okay. You want to go by year?
Go last year.
We will have to adapt. You know, we're going to get tired of it. In no way, shape, or form will anybody honestly be comfortable, whether it be on the court or off the court.
You know, it was extremely tough. You know, being in this environment, you know, not usually getting the proper meals that you normally eat. You know what I mean? It's just, you know, not the proper sleep. So a lot of things go in factor in playing this championship today for me.
Didn't think we lost. Disappointed, of course, but you know, it's an experience I'll never forget.
Our mission was to come down here and be the last team standing. We fell short of that.
I think that this will whoever's crowned champion deserve it, because it's definitely the toughest time I've had in the NBA.
Can't see family, friends. There's really nothing to do. Don't know where to go. There's no way to release anything, any feelings that you might have. It's just how we're stuck. Seeing the same walls every day.
Responding to this clip, I mean, I don't want to talk about the bubble, but you know, it seems as though Bron, for some reason, is talking about the bubble as being the best form of basketball. But I saw it, and many other players who saw it, you know, don't think so. All right, naturally, if you do not have your best players playing in this tournament. We cannot credit it as you're being legitimate, clearly. Secondly, if you have players there who don't want to be there, they're not in their best mindset. I mean, I remember Paul George said, you know, I think he had a bout with some depression or something like that. I think DeRozan as well. Many players. Lou Williams, he left. He didn't come back. There were some issues. Like, there's a whole bunch of different issues there. All right, and this is even after, remember, Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell, they had issues over, you know, one giving another COVID and all sorts of ridiculous things. All right, so this was not the ideal, you know, basketball space at all. There was too many outside issues, even though they were inside of a bubble, because that bubble was an irregular environment. It was not a natural environment. It did not contain what it usually contains when it comes to the NBA and NBA championship. Okay, so for LeBron to say this, I don't know why he's saying this, probably just because he won it. But the majority of players who played in there and also NBA legends were familiar with it and even look at and even thought about the idea, cannot consider this, all right, as anything legitimate. All right, and it's nonsense to say that it is. I mean, they really should have canceled that season, but obviously LeBron's seen an opportunity, okay, with people down and to have an unfair advantage. Right, and they took it and they won, whatever, they won. But I don't think that it was great at all. So that's about it. So until next time.